and then you can start.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone, esteemed speakers and registered respected members. I, C. Dhaval Gupta, welcome you all to this enriching webinar organized by the Continuing Professional Education Committee of ICI. Before we move ahead, I would like to take a moment to talk about an exciting, significant event organized by ICI, the World Forum of Accountants, WOFA 2025. It's an excellent opportunity for all of us to learn from international experts, network with peers from across the globe, and stay updated on the latest developments in the profession. The registrations for WOFA 2025 is still open, and I encourage you all to register for this landmark event. You can visit www.wofa.ici.org. You can and secure your spot. Let's make sure that we take part in shaping up the future in our profession. So now, moving ahead, it is my pleasure to be the moderator of today's webinar. The topic of the webinar is Assessment of Non-Filers of Returns and Unregistered Persons under GST and Opportunities in Dynamic Professional Environment. The role of chartered accountants is evolving continuously to accept newer responsibilities in dynamic global environment. The future of CA profession depends on being flexible and open to innovation. Therefore, the need of the hour is to innovate as per the requisites of the contemporary business environment and accordingly upgrade the curriculum and education system of chartered accountancy course. So the CP committee also believes that members of ICI should look beyond the traditional areas of practice and seek and explore new areas of business and profession. And hence, the CP committee is mentoring the members by providing guidance through various workshops, seminars, national conferences, background materials, etc. And simultaneously by encouraging young and dynamic professionals to grow as a speaker and master of ceremonies in CP programs. So our program will comprise of two sessions. Each session will be of 1 hour each, and topics will be the first session will be assessments of non-filers of returns and unregistered persons under GST by Sir CA Rinkesh Mamrawala, and the other session opportunities in a dynamic professional environment, a new era of practice by Sir CA Sachin Jain. Our eminent speakers will talk about the above mentioned two emerging areas of professional interest. So I would proceed and welcome CA Rinkesh Mamrawala, the first session. I would like to give you a brief introduction of Sir. Rinkesh Mamrawala, his areas of practice are GST, audit and assurance, income tax, and provide services on GST compliance, litigation matters, handling, representative services, etc. And has experience in conducting statutory and tax audits, bank audits, and general insurance companies audits. He provides consultations in tedious matters for various clients and has experience in statutory audit and tax audit of various clients of manufacturing service, stock, construction, insurance, banking industries, etc. He has also written an article in monthly e-newsletter on the topic GST perspective on vouchers and coupons taxation. I would like to invite Sir and proceed the session.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I am thankful to the Continuing Professional Education Committee, that is CPICAI, for giving me an opportunity as a speaker for the webinar. I am also thankful to Sir CA Purushottam Khandelwal, sir, the chairman of the CPE committee, and CA Gyan Chandra Mishra, sir, vice chairman of the CPE committee, and also I am thankful to the CA Dhaval Gupta madam, the moderator of the webinar, for giving my introduction to the attendees. Now, not taking much of time, we will start the discussion on the topic assessment of non-filers and non-filers of returns and unregistered person. Nowadays, we have experienced assessment under section 73 and 74, in which we and tax authorities has been seen that tax taxpayers have availed the ITC on purchases made, but supplier's registration has been cancelled due to non-filing of returns. That is, supplier has furnished the GSTR1 but fails to furnish the GSTR3B, and thus the tax was not received to the government. And hence, in that case, the tax receipts has not been generated in to the government, and therefore they have raised the demand to the taxpayers. But however, many tax professionals have argued that why these amounts of tax were not recovered from the non-filers rather than the taxpayers who complied the who are making compliance in filing of returns and do all the compliances on timely manner. But and these arguments is very vast, and therefore uh, to bring these kind of assessments, uh, the GST has a provision of section 62 and 63 that to cover that kind of taxpayers, that kind of persons who are non-filers and unregistered persons. Okay, so first of all, we will go with the section 62, where non-filers of returns are non-filers of returns. Okay. First of all, we will go with the assessment of definition of assessment in the GST. This is defined under section 211 of the CGST Act. It means the determination of tax liability under these acts. There is self-assessment under section 59, reassessment, provisional assessment, summary assessment, and base judgment assessment. Self-assessment, where taxpayer is determine his own tax liability on at their own. यहाँ taxpayer खुद अपने हिसाब से GSTR1 में सेल्स अपलोड करते हैं और GSTR3B में उसका टैक्स पेमेंट का डिस्चार्ज करते हैं. देन रीअसेसमेंट में स्क्रूटिनी ऑफ रिटर्न्स अपने कंसीडर कर सकते हैं. दैट will scrutinized by the department itself under section 61. The detailed chart has been provided here in the session. This is the chart. Assessment and assessment, there is section 59 to 64, and the rule 98 to 100 is covered by the taxpayer. First, that as I talked earlier, taxpayer is determine his tax liability and pays the tax to the government as per the self-assessment under section 59. After that, the procedure is that whether any discrepancies is there or not in the returns, the tax authorities will determine that whether there is any discrepancies in the returns or classification of service or value of taxes, value of the supply or tax rate, classification of goods and services as per HSN is not or is there or not, properly made or not. It is determined in the scrutiny of returns. Provisional assessment is also there. If the assessee is unable to determine his liability and determine the value of the taxable supply, he may go for this option, that provisional assessment, where he can ask the officer to determine the tax liabilities and the value of the supply on the basis of documents provided by him. And scrutiny of returns in that taxpayer is going to the taxpayer has filed the return, and after that this return, scrutiny has been done by the department. However, there are some people who are not who are non-compliant. That is, either he is a non-filer of returns or either he is not registered in the act. He may be assessed as per the base judgment assessment under this provisions of the section 62 and section 63, and summary assessment in certain special cases where to protect the interest of the revenue, interest of the revenue, department itself assess the person in a summarized manner. So these are the, but here we will discuss about the provision of the section 62 and section 63. Now, what about the section 62? Section 62 says assessment of non-filers of returns, notwithstanding anything to the contrary contained in 73 or 74 or 74A as amendment made in the Finance Act, where a registered person fails to furnish a return under section 39 or 45. Either he has not filed the return under GSTR 3B, or he has not furnished the return under final return after cancellation of registration. Even after service of notice under section 46 for non-filing of the return, the proper officer may proceed to assess the liability of the said person to the best of his judgment, taking into account all the relevant material which is available with him, which he has gathered and issued an assessment order. Here, first of all, we will discuss just first two paras. This is number one. The section 62 has a extraordinary power other than 73 and 74, where the particular person has not filed the return under section 39 and 45, he will cover under this section only. He will not assess under 73 or 74. This is the first non-obstant clause said that. Secondly, to determine, to cover under this section, proper officer must be issued a notice under section 46, and in which he will instructed to file the return within 15 days within 15 days of the date of service of this notice. However, we continue forward within such assessment order. This assessment order should be issued within the period of 5 years from the date of specified under section 44 for furnishing of annual return of the financial year to which the tax paid relates. Okay, so this 5 years starts from the end of the period where annual time limit to file annual returns has been given. That is, annual return file करने की डेट होती है 31 दिसंबर आफ्टर द कंप्लीशन ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल ईयर. वहां से 5 साल में उनको ये असेसमेंट ऑर्डर इश्यू करना है. 62 में ये लिखा हुआ है, where the registered person furnishes a valid return. Now this clause is given relief to the non-filer that if he files the return along with applicable interest and tax payment, the proceedings shall be deemed to have been withdrawn. Where I am reading this section, where the registered person furnishes a valid return within 60 days, the service within 60 days of the service of the assessment order under subsection 1, the assessment order shall be deemed to have been withdrawn, but the liability for payment interest under subsection 50 subsection 1 or for payment of late fee under section 47 shall be continued. So earlier this limit was time limit was 30 days, but now it is amended and done with the 60 days. So here the section clarified that if a person furnishes his return within the 60 days of the order, not notice but order, all the proceedings which were initiated against him under this section will be removed, will be withdrawn, and he will be continue to regularly returns and do the compliance as earlier doing that. Again, this is an extension time limit is provided under that section, that is provided where the registered person fails to furnish valid return within 60 days. अगर उसने वो 60 दिन में भी रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किए तो क्या होगा? तो he may furnish the same within a further period of 60 days on payment of additional late fees of 100 rupees for each day of delay beyond the 60 days. After 60 days कंप्लीट होने के बाद जो भी दिन ऊपर जा रहे हैं उसके ऊपर उसको पर डे 100 रुपीज पे करना है और वो रिटर्न्स फाइल कर देने हैं अलोंग विथ इंटरेस्ट एंड दैट लेट फीस एंड अर्लियर जो 47 का लेट फीस है उसके साथ. तो आगे यही लिखा हुआ है, द सेड असेसमेंट ऑर्डर शैल बी डीम्ड टू हैव बीन विथड्रॉन बट द लायबिलिटी टू पे इंटरेस्ट अंडर सबसेक्शन 1 of 50 or to pay late fees under section shall continue. तो उसमें कोई चेंज नहीं आने वाला है. There will be no change under earlier liability of interest and late fees, but he has to additionally pay 100 rupees per day, which is beyond that 60 days period. This the 60 days has been substituted by the Finance Act 2023 white notification number 28 by 2023 dated 31st July 2023 with effect from 1st October 23 itself. Now this is a procedure. Now how this procedure will be done by the officer. Now it is totally from the officer side that the proper officer will how he will proceed. So first of all, Rule 68 is invoked here. That is not notice to non-filers of returns. First of all, he will issue the notice under Form GSTR 3A electronically to the registered person who fails to furnish return under 39, 45, 44, 45 or 54, 52. That is 39 is the 3B regular returns जो जा रहे हैं, 44 हो गया इनका annual return, 45 final return and 52 TDS TCS return, 52 TCS return. So if the taxpayer fails to furnish the return within 15 days, as within 15 days of issue of notice under Form GSTR 3 under Section 46, the proper officer may assess the tax liability according with the provision of Rule 100. Here, Rule 100 sub Rule 1 is invoked, and then he will issue notice. After issue of notice, he will issue order. He will issue order under Rule 100. The base judgment assessment has to be made on the basis of the material available on the record. We will discuss the what is material available on the record and the information gathered by the proper officer and the circumstances of his case. Now he will base judgment. He will make his base judgment assessment on the basis of records available on the record. That is the Form GSTR 2A, GSTR 1, which is filed up to the date of non-compliance, and GSTR TDS TCS return data, or further some investigation data, or some other information which he has already on the records. In terms of Rule 100 of the CGST rules, the order of assessment made under Section 62(1) of the Act has to be issued in the Form ASMD 13, and a summary thereof shall be uploaded electronically in Form GSTR DRC 7. So first he will upload order in ASMD 13, and demand will be demand along with the summary that what kind of chronology of the case has been done is mentioned in the DRC 7. And then first of all, he in his specific note order, he mentioned what kind of activities he has done, what will assess his reply, what is the interpretation by him, and then how he conclude the proceedings. Is everything was properly written in that ASMT 13 and DRC 7. Now this is again from the officer point of view. If what officer has to be done, if the taxpayer has furnished the valid return within 60 days of the service of the order in Form ASMT 13, the said assessment order shall be deemed to have been withdrawn. ये ऑर्डर विड्रॉ हो जाएगा अगर उसने 60 डेज के अंदर रिटर्न फाइलिंग कर दिया. उसकी टैक्स लायबिलिटी विल बी नल एंड नील हो जाएगी. जो भी उसने सेल्फ असेस करके किया है वो कंसिडर हो जाएगा फिर. एंड बट इसमें क्या है कि इसमें फिर इंटरेस्ट और लेट फीस का जो भी है उसका पेमेंट असेस टैक्स पेयर को करना पड़ेगा. 50 सब सेक्शन 1 के अंदर, और 47 का जो लेट फीस रहेगा वो. However, again, if the taxpayer fails to furnish the return within 60 days, if he has not filed the return within 60 days, then he may impose an additional late fees of 100 rupees for each day beyond the delay of 60 days, as mentioned in the 62. And then, in third case, in case the returns are not filed within the 60 days, even after the order passed, the order becomes final, and even if the returns are filed subsequently, the order cannot be withdrawn. After that, assessee has given first 60 days, then extended 60 days, that is 120 days already been elapsed, and now still he has not filed the return. Now this order becomes final, and recovery will be initiated against him. This is since the Form DRC 7 is already been uploaded on the portal along with the ASMT 13. So recovery proceedings again will be initiated against him by the proper officer under Section 79. So these are the provisions. Now doing this these proceedings, he has to be follow certain SOP. The SOP has been provided in the Circular 129/48 /2019, I will share with you. Uh, in the circular, first two paras are the powers and is been given. Now section 46 has been provided here, that we have already discussed with rule 68, that the form GSTR 3A notice under the notice should be issued under section 46 by using the form GSTR 3A. And the notice format is given below under the circular. That is, being a registered taxpayer, you are required to furnish a return. And the first point is that they are instructed, the registered taxpayer, to file the return within a period of 15 days. If he is not filed the return, then they will initiate the proceeding under section 62. And further, this is the very important clause. They will know make any further communication for assessing the liability. That is, the opportunity of being heard is not given in this section for non-filers. Section 62 has this kind of special feature to available with the proper officer, that he will not provide the uh, opportunity of being heard to the person who is assessed under section 62, and no further reminder will be issued by the department or the proper officer to determine the liability of that person who is a non-filer of return. This is the difference between other sections and 62. In every sections, they will provide an opportunity of being heard there, along with as per the principle of natural justice. But this is an extraordinary feature of this section, that further communication will not be given to the taxpayer regarding this, and the notice shall be deemed to be have been withdrawn if the return has been furnished as provided under that section. Again, this is the in point number 4. They are provide the point-wise SOP that how these 46 and 62 will work simultaneously. The first of all, system generated message will be sent to the uh, registered person 3 days before the due date of nudge them about filing of return of the taxpayer by the due date. आफ्टर GSTR 3B का जो डेट ओवर हो जाएगा, मतलब उसको मैसेज जो ड्यू डेट है, जैसे 20th होता है, कुछ स्टेट में 22 होता है, तो उसके 3 दिन पहले से मैसेज भेजना चालू कर देंगे, फाइल योर रिटर्न, फाइल योर रिटर्न. एंड वी हैव, एज अ प्रोफेशनल, वी हैव फेस दिस प्रॉब्लम दैट टैक्स पेयर्स विल कॉल यू दैट please file my return, please file my message is coming from the department. So this is the system. First they will provide uh, these kind of messages. Now, once the due date of the furnishing of return under section 39 is over, a system generated mail or message will be sent to the defaulters immediately after the due date, to the effect that the said registered person has not furnished the return of the said tax period. Mail and message to be sent to the authorized signatory, proprietor, all the person whose contact number were given and registered on the GST portal. They will ping them the messages. They are sending messages through mail, whatever the means they have available. Sometimes the department officer will call you, sir, please file your returns on the time. You have not furnished that return on this due date. Please furnish and then provide the reason why you have not furnished that return. After the file, now third point, 5 days after the due date of furnishing return, a notice under notice in form 3A, that is 46, along with the rule 68, shall be issued electronically to such registered person who fails to furnish the return under section 39, requiring him to furnish such return within 15 days. Now we have seen that under GST portal, user service menu, view notices and orders, there is a n number of notices where we have make some delay in return filing. That notice under section 46 has been issued. Notice for under section 46 has been issued. So this is given n numbers of. Sometimes some taxpayers are doing not intentionally, but some occasionally some taxpayers are not able to file their return on due date. So this is notice system generated will be issued after the these 5 days, and that is 25 or 27th of every month. After that, in case the said return is still not filed by the after issue of this 3A, if again he is not filing return within 15 days, then what happened? Then the proper officer may proceed to assess the tax liability of the said person under section 62. Now the section 62 will be come into the picture, and proper officer invoke the 62. Now to the best of his judgment, taking into account all the materials, relevant material which is available or which he has graded, and would issue order under rule 100. That is, again, we have already discussed this, that ASMT 13 and DRC 07 will be issued. Now for the purpose of अब ये करेगा कैसे? How he will assess this? How he will come to know that what is the sales liability and what is the purchase he has made? Now this point will clarify this, and this is very important point of the circular, when and it is very practically approachable, that for the purpose of the assessment of tax liability under section 62 of the act, the proper officer may, taking into account the details of outward supplies available in the statement furnished under section 37, that is GSTR 1, and details of supplier auto-populated under GSTR 2A. Now it is 2A, 2B. Also EVA bills data and other information available from any other sources. I will discuss this any other sources in later sheets, and including from inspection under section 17. They will conduct the inspection, gather some information. They have already auto-populated 2A. They have already GSTR 1 data. And on the basis of this material, they will ascertain the tax value of taxable supply, and determine the tax liability of that non-filer person. Now, important point is this, in under this, that he will allow the ITC. He will allow the ITC of GSTR 2A while computing the net tax liability of that person. It is the very important, because he is considering that GST, he has to considering that the GSTR 2A while calculating while determining the taxable supply and calculating the tax liability. It is given in this circular. So it is very important thing. So sometimes sometimes officer disallow the ITC available in the 2A and make the ex parte order. So this is the very important clause. Now in case the defaulter furnishes the value, इतनी सारी मेहनत कर लिया ऑफिसर ने, अब क्या करें? अगर मानो कि इतनी सारी मेहनत के बाद उसने वो रिटर्न फर्निश कर दिए विद इन जो 60 डेज का टाइम लिमिट दे रखा है, तो ये सारी मेहनत उसकी बेकार हो गई, और उसको फिर वो रिटर्न्स कंसिडर करने पड़ेंगे. बट there is a catch. He will assess under section 70. He will be subject to section 61 now. Here section 61 will be coming to the picture, but it is not related to this part right now. Now we will go into this point. In case the defaulter furnishes a valid return within the 30 days of the survey, here 30 days, because this notification has been issued in 2019, but after 2023 with effect from 1st October, this limit has been 60 days. This is not 30 days, but earlier it was 30 days. So this notification is old, so it is written here 30 days. So valid return within 60 days. I will read it as a 60 days of the service of assessment order in form ASMT 13. The said assessment order shall deemed to have been withdrawn in terms of sections 2, subsection 2 of section 262 of the CGST. However, if the said return remains the unfurnished within the statutory period of 60 days from the issuance of order, then the proper officer may initiate the proceeding under section 78 and recovery under section 79 of the CGST Act, as said earlier. And above guidelines has to be followed by the officer in case of non-furnishing of return. In deserving cases, they may initiate the provisional attachment against the non-filer person by under section 83. Now this, in the deserving case, based on the facts of the case, the commissioner may resort. Now here authority is very important. The commissioner may resort to provisional attachment to protect the revenue under section 83 of the CGST Act before issuance of ASMT 13. Now यहाँ पर बात ये हो रही है कि before issuing of ASMT 13, whether the attachment can be done. Yes, it can be done, but it should be authorized by the commissioner, not any other officer. Only commissioner, not assistant commissioner, not joint commissioner, not additional commissioner. Is a commissioner what is issued. And the Supreme Court has also sorry, Honorable Paul says also this uh, noted that the some below ranking, some state tax officer or some below AC level officers are issuing the attachment order. It is not valid unless and until it is delegated by the such authorities. In some state, it is not delegated to that officers. So it is, I think, it is not valid in my opinion. Now, this is further for proper officers would initiate the he would cancel the registration non-filer के registration cancel हो जाएंगे. Then again अगर उसने उसके बाद भी supply किया तो फिर वो 63 में fall होगा assessment. That is, he will be deemed to be assess in default and he will be unregistered person and he will fall under the section 63 and he will be assessed under section 63, that is assessment of unregistered persons. If he is making any supply to the supply after the cancellation of registration under section 29. So this is the basic guideline. Now one point here to be noted that in this section 46 is uh, 46 is notice under 46 is for the non-furnishing of returns. Here returns means all the returns, whether 39 return, section 39 return, section 44 return or section 45 returns. But section 62, again we come to the PPD. Now section 62 is covered only, section 62 is covered only section 39 and section 45. But the time limit of determining the liability and passing the order is relates with the section 54. Sorry, 44. So here, section 39 and section 39 and section 44 and 45 are important for non-filers of return. In that case, they have to follow this SOP. And to assess the 62, that requirement of non-filing of annual return is not compulsory for 62, as it is not mentioned in that section. But circular is said that there is a difference between circular and section 62. As please note that the only returns under 39, as I'm saying that the 39 and 45 are covered by section 62. And new returns are filed under section 44 cannot be treated under section 62. It is already mentioned in the handbook issued by the DTC IBTC committee and GST committee of ICAI. It is already written in that handbook. And non-filing of GSTR 3B and GSTR 10 will attract the base judgment assessment. Non-filing of 44 is not attacking the base, but the circular is giving some kind of confusion here that. So we need to wait for the government to clarify this issue. Now section 64 is for non-filing of annual return. Now again, here I want to clear one thing also, that section 37 GSTR 1 is not covered here. Why? Because the section 37 is a statement of filing of outward supply and not the return. It is not a return. It is a statement. So it is not covered here. I just want to clarify this thing. And now come to the PPT. What kind of forms used by the proper officer under section 62? Number one, he will issue notice. This is a system generated GSTR 3A. Notice to taxable person. The system generated notice has been sent to the taxable person. And as we have already discussed in the circular, then no further communication will be given to that taxable person. And section 62 will be automatically initiated by the proper officer. And he will issue the assessment order by using the form GST A7013 after expiry of that notice, and along with that form GST DRC 07. So these are the forms used by the proper officer, and this is the procedure which has been followed by the proper officer. Now come to the what is the implication of 62 on recipient of the buyer. Now, since he has not filed the return, he has furnished the GSTR 1 but not filed the return under GSTR 3B. So the Rule 37A is come to the picture, and Rule 37 says that the taxpayer, recipient who received the goods and availed the ITC, he has to be reversed the ITC until the tax payment has not been made by the buyer. Sorry, seller, supplier. Until the seller has not made the tax payment to the government, he has to be reversed the ITC. So this is new Rule 37 has been inserted by we notification number 26 by 22 on 26 December to specify the mechanism here mechanism for the reversal of ITC already available by the recipient in 3B. As per the said rule, when the supplier has furnished the details of invoice or debit not in GSTR 1 or IFF, but the return in form GSTR 3B has not been furnished by the supplier till the 30th September of the subsequent financial year, the ITC availed by the recipient shall be reversed along with the interest. However, if he has furnished the 3B and pays the tax, he is again eligible for credit. So next para is talking about that. However, if the recipient reverses the ITC already availed in Form GSTR 3B before the 30th November of the succeeding financial years, this is 16.4 and Y already amended in that regard, then the recipient is not required to pay interest on such reversal. Here, interest is not liable because he has reversed that ITC on within time. And again, the 3B has been filed by the supplier on time, that is before 30th November. If the recipient reverses the ITC after 30th November, then he is liable to reverse the amount ITC along with the interest. अगर 30 नवंबर के बाद वो करेगा रिवर्स तो फिर इंटरेस्ट लगेगा. The recipient may reavail the amount of ITC in 3B after the supplier furnishes the return. So Rule 37A is very clear that if it is not paid, if invoice has been uploaded in GSTR 1, it is properly reflected in GSTR 2A and 2B, but he has not furnished the return. He has to reverse the ITC. But nowadays, portal itself has an facility in 2B that it will not added that portion of ITC who has not furnished the 3B of previous tax periods to the ITC not available section. So it is a systematic has been done by the GST portal itself. So it is don't worry about the tax professionals and the CS that who are filing the returns. Now we are going to discuss the section 63, that is assessment of unregistered persons. Now, who are here covered? Generally, we have just seen that nowadays a Pani Puri wala get GST notice who is not registered under this section. So persons are not aware about the law, who are the small businessmen and street vendors, some service providers like freelancers. They are not aware about that they have already crossing the threshold. It is an unintentional thing. This has been done, or sometimes it has been the intentional thing by the persons who are not taking the registration under GST and do not doing any compliances. So to cover these persons under the GST regime, the section 63 is made under the law. Now, this section is also with the non-obstant clause, notwithstanding anything contrary to content under section 73 or section 74 or section 74A, where a taxable person fails to obtain registration. He is not taking a registration, even though he is liable to do so, or whose registration has been cancelled. As we have talked about in earlier section 29.2, his registration may be cancelled, who has not filed the return. This is the last action by the proper officer. And we have faced that due to that cancellation, we have faced many challenges during the assessment under section 73 and 74. So this is the sections. After that, after cancellation of registration, he is making the supply, he is collecting the payments from the persons. So is covered here, and who is that person is liable to be assessed under this particular section as per the based of the judgment, based of his judgment for the tax relevant taxpayers, and issue an assessment order within a period of 5 years from the date specified under section 44 for furnishing the annual return of the financial to which the tax not paid relates. तो यहाँ पर बात हो रही है कि उसने टैक्स जो नहीं पे किया है उस ईयर से 5 साल में असेसमेंट ऑर्डर बनेगा, बट यहाँ पर एक है कि एक अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड दिया जाएगा, provided that no such assessment order shall be passed without giving the person an opportunity of being heard. यहाँ रूल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस फॉलो किया जा रहा है, प्रिंसिपल ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस फॉलो किया जा रहा है कि आपको एक बचाव में बोलने का राइट्स दिया गया है कि भाई आपका ये असेसमेंट क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए, आप कवर कैसे नहीं हो रहे हो, तो अगर आपने रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं दिया है, सो व्हाई यू हैव नॉट टेकिंग द रजिस्ट्रेशन, यू हैव टू सब्सटेंशिएट दैट, यू हैव टू प्रूव दैट you have not taken registration due to these reasons, and if it is a genuine reason, then the proper officer will assess, will not will drop the proceedings of assessment initiated against you. So this is the sections which is very clear, and but this sections has an unlimited power with available with the proper officer, that he will make an inquiry and then issue notice that you are liable to the assessment under this section because you have not taken the registration under this act. So this may be happening. Now what will be the assessment proceeding under section 63? Now the procedure here, there is no specific guidelines has been issued by the CBIC as of now, but this is nowadays the practice of the officer, and this is again uncovered area by the department, CBICs and departmental officers, that they are done the 73 and 74 assessment right now. Now they are some free officers, some free of time they are available with them, so they will initiate proceeding under section 63 by visiting the business premises and like that. So here, what is the procedure? Time to start the procedure. The procedure of the assessment of unregistered persons starts when a tax officer comes to know, either during inspection, on survey or enforcement, or through information available with the intelligence unit, or through any other means, that the taxable person has failed to obtain the registration or to pay taxes even though he is liable to do so. So basically he has some information, he has some documents, some evidences that particular person is liable to take registration, but he is not taking the registration. So basically he has some documentation available with him so that he can initiate the proceedings. Without any documentation, he will not able to do assessment like that. So this is the basic requirement. Now, what is the procedure against? Now, what he will do? Adjudicating authority or assessing authority issue a so-called notice to taxable person, and if the PH is required, so it is also give a date and time, venue. He will provide in the notice. In case no reply is received from the taxable person, then he will issue reminders. As earlier said, 62 में reminder issues नहीं होंगे, यहाँ reminder आपको 3 मिलेंगे. 3 reminders will be issued that please come to that date and this place and time and at this venue. After that, 3 reminders, what the taxable person can reply to the issued notice offline. He can issue a notice offline issue है तो आप उसका offline issue reply file करेंगे, and also request for a PH in case of in case adjudicating authority has not called for a PH. He can request. If officer has not given that PH, then you may request at any stage that I need a PH, requesting later, and he will fix the date and time for the PH. Additionally, if required, he or she can do also offline for application of extension of PH date. So suppose he has given us some date and time, but authorized representative, that is CA or the person is not available or is not available on that date, then he may ask for the extension for the PH. If the authority approves the application of extension, he will issue an adjournment with the new date and time and venue for PH, and adjournment can be allowed maximum 3 times. Now, reminder will be allowed also 3 times, and adjournment will be also allowed for the team maximum 3 times. So this is very smoothened provision that compared to section 62. Here he will give officer will give PH, he will OB, he will give opportunity of being heard according to the principle of natural justice, and then he further proceed against the person whether to allow to grant it his claim or claim for non-registration, or whether to reject the claim of his non-registration. Now, if a PH is not required, now what is happening? If PH is not required on the basis of taxable person's reply, uh, he will issue assessment order in form A70 15 and or drop the proceedings. As if he is satisfied with the reply, then he will drop the proceeding. If PH is required and conducts a PH and on that basis issue of the order. If the taxable person does not reply even after the issue of 3 reminders, then authority will issue the order as per his direction discretion. So अगेन बात यही है कि आपको नोटिस में पीएच दिया गया है, रिक्वायर ही नहीं है, सपोज आपने रिप्लाई फाइल प्रॉपरली किया हुआ है, रिक्वायर नहीं है, आपने मांगा भी नहीं, ना से ना प्रॉपर ऑफिसर ने दिया, देन द प्रोसीडिंग्स विल बी ड्रॉप, ही कैन ड्रॉप ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ योर रिप्लाई. अगेन वो आपके अगेंस्ट कुछ काम करने वाला है, मतलब आपके अगेंस्ट कोई ऑर्डर पास करने वाला है, देन ही विल गिव द पीएच that on some date and time you will please present here, and then we will discuss. Then after discussion he realized that the person is not liable to registration, then he will drop the proceeding. In case now, and after PH and after issuing a notice, if the person is not replying, then what he can do? He can do the he can pass the order as per his based of his judgment एट डिस्क्रिप्शन. उसके पास जो भी मटेरियल अवेलेबल है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट वो असेसमेंट कंप्लीट करके दे देगा कि भाई हमारे पास ये DGRM से इंफॉर्मेशन आई है, या इंटेलिजेंस यूनिट से आई है, या इंस्पेक्शन हुआ था, सर्वे हुआ था, GST का स्पेशल ड्राइव हुआ था, यहाँ से ये इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली थी, इसमें ये फिगर्स हमने डिटरमाइन किए हैं, ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स आपसे कलेक्ट किए, तो ऑन दैट बेसिस वो कंप्लीट कर देगा. In case notice accept the notice or order is issued by the post or special message, then the date of delivery will be considered of the date of issue. So ये तो date of issues है कि इसमें डेट ऑफ इशू क्या माना जाएगा. तो जिस दिन आपको बाय पोस्ट या स्पेशल मैसेंजर से भेजा गया है या मेल से भेजा गया है, तो डेट ऑफ डिलीवरी ऑफ दैट मैसेज और दैट पोस्ट रिसीविंग will be the date of issue. If a taxable person does not attend the personal hearing on reminder is issued to the taxable person, maximum 3 reminders will be issued, and if taxable person does not appear within the time specified even after the issue of reminders, then he will pass ex parte order. So this is the proceedings of section 63. Now here what is happening, that basically as I told earlier, basically the person who has not proper knowledge of the law, then he is not taking the registration. Generally, street vendors, pani puri walas, and like that persons are covered. Sometimes of service provider like online service providers, freelancers work कर रहे हैं, वर्क पे वर्क कर रहे हैं, कोई freelance.com पे कर रहे हैं, तो ये इनसे जो भी ये पर्सन्स का 20 लाख कब थ्रेशोल्ड क्रॉस हो जाता है उनको आइडिया नहीं रहता है. एंड देन दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इज ऑलरेडी रिफ्लेक्टेड इन दैट फॉर्म 26 तो फॉर्म 26 से इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर किया और असेसिंग ऑफिसर ने वो इसको नोटिस इशू कर दिया कि भाई आप एलिजिबल हो और आपने रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं लिया है. सो दिस इज द प्रोसीडिंग अंडर सेक्शन 63. Now what is rule? Now to proceed with the 62, 63, the rule 100 sub rule 2 has been made under the CGST rule. The proper officer shall issue the notice to the taxable person in form ASMT 14. Then he will containing the grounds on which the assessment is proposed to be made on his base judgment basis, and also serve a summary thereof electronically in DRC 01. After issuing A74, first of all he will issue A70 14. A70 14 में आपने रिप्लाई फाइल कर दिया, दो वो उसमें नहीं जाएगा. अगर रिप्लाई फाइल नहीं करते हो तो देन ही विल इशू DRC 1 नोटिस. इसमें वो बोलेगा 15 days आफ्टर यू हैव टू फाइल द रिप्लाई विद इन 15 days. ठीक है, and if any pass an order, after replying he will pass the order in ASMT 15 and DRC 07. So this is the procedure under rule 100 sub rule 2. Now, here is a summarize of the form which he will issue. That is first GST A70 14, that is notice to the taxable person. Then DRC 1, and under DRC he will issue the 3 reminders. Please sir come to the place and on this date, on this venue at that time to furnish your reply or furnish your side. So this is DRC 1. And then after completion of the all the proceedings, he will issue the assessment order in ASMT 15 and GST DRC 7. So this is the chronology and this is the forms which assessing officer is used. Now, as I say earlier, what is the sources of data for that 2 sections? Now, first of all, it is GST portal. This is returns data. This is GSTR 1, GSTR 1, GSTR 2A, 2B. TDS TCS is available with the on the portals under GST Act. So this is the data, e-way bill system data, third party data, that is from banks, RBI, SEBI reports, payment gateway like BillDesk, PayPal, Razorpay, Instamoj, Stripe, etc. Wallets, Amazon Pay wallet हो गया, Paytm हो गया, फोन पे हो गया, गूगल पे हो गया. तो ये वॉलेट्स से डेटा इंफॉर्मेशन वो लोग कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं. देन गवर्नमेंट के अदर डिपार्टमेंट होते हैं, जैसे कस्टम डिपार्टमेंट हो गया, कस्टम से करते हैं, आरओसी से करते हैं, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट से करते हैं, जीएसटी इनके खुद का डेटाबेस एनालिसिस सॉफ्टवेयर से उनसे करते हैं, या एमएसएमई के साइट से करते हैं, या जीएसटी के खुद के इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो चुके हैं, एनफोर्समेंट एक्शन हो चुके हैं किसी और पर्सन के अगेंस्ट, जीएसटी के स्पेशल ड्राइव हो चुके हैं. तो ये सारे जो है जीएसटी के डीजीआरएम डिपार्टमेंट है, डीजीजीआई है, इंटेलिजेंस यूनिट, तो यहाँ से ये लोग इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करते हैं. Again, during assessment 73, 74, if they have come to know that this person is liable to registration or this person is a non-filer, then he, proper officer may communicate with that jurisdictional officer of the other who is not a registered person or who is a non-filer, and initiate that proceedings in that against that person. So this is also happening with the department. Now, what about the interest and late fees? Now, in all the cases, even if you have filed the return, you make the compliance, but the return interest and late fees will not be seized. It will be liable to pay. So these provisions are given additionally in this portion. I have covered this. Interest and late fee do not cease in the case of assessment for non-filers of return and unregistered persons. These provisions are independent of section 73. 73, 74 से भी ये अलग चलेगा. अब आप बोलोगे 73 में हो गया, 74 में हो गया, बट अगर आप वापस ये सेक्शन में फॉल हो गए गए हो तो आपका इंटरेस्ट और लेट फीस कंटिन्यू रहेगा. सो इन दिस केस द इंटरेस्ट अंडर सेक्शन 50 सब सेक्शन 1 and to pay late fees under 47(1) of the CGST Act shall be continued. As per section 50 subsection 1, interest if a person fails to pay tax or any part thereof within the prescribed period, they must pay interest on the unpaid tax at a rate of not exceeding 18% as notified by the government. However, if the tax declared in the return file after the due date, interest is only levied on the portion of tax period of electronic cash ledger. It is very important point here कि अगर रिटर्न फाइल किए हुए हैं तो उसमें जो कैश लेजर की लायबिलिटी है उसके ऊपर ही लगेगा इंटरेस्ट, except when the proceeding under 73, 74 और 74 है already commenced for that period. मतलब अगर रिटर्न फाइलिंग में आपने डिले किया है तो फिर आपका जो कैश लेजर से पोर्शन जा रहा है उसी पे लगेगा, अदरवाइज नहीं लगेगा. बट अगर आप आफ्टर दैट कर रहे हो तो मतलब 73, 74 में कर रहे हो तो फिर तो फुल अमाउंट पे लगेगा. ये बोल रहे हैं 73, 74 के हिसाब से. Now, what is the late fees? Now, late fees is any registered person who fails to furnish the details of outward or supplies required under section 37, that is GSTR 1, or returns required under section 39 or 45 or 52. By the due date shall pay a late fee of rupees 100 for every day during which such failure continues, subject to maximum of rupees 5,000. But now this late fees has been already been devised by the government by the relevant circular in case of 3B. That is taxable person is 50 rupees per day total. So this will provided in the section, so it is covered here. Now it's time for questions. So if any questions are there, then I will request the madam to ask the questions.
Thank you, sir, for such an insightful presentation. Your guidance will undoubtedly help professionals navigate assessments under GST. Now we'll take few questions from the participants, and I would like to request our dear participants to please ensure that your questions are brief and relevant to the topic discussed. So our first question is from Jarut Patel from Surat. What will be the implication on seller and buyer if a registered seller does not pass the credit to buyer after collecting GST amount?
What will be the implication on seller? What is the question? What will be the?
What will be the implication on seller and buyer if a registered seller does not pass the credit to buyer after collecting GST amount?
So this, yeah, this is the how we can determine that he has passed the credit or not. This is very good question by the Jarod Patel from Surat. Uh, how we can determine that he has passed the ITC or not? It will be available in GSTR 2A. If it is available in GSTR 2A, then he has passed the ITC on ITC to the seller by the buyer to by the seller to the buyer. So how you can determine that? First of all, we need to check whether the invoice with which we are claiming the credit is available in 2A or not. If it is available in 2A, then he has passed the incidence of the tax to the buyer. If not available, then he has not passed the buyer. This is a very simple question. This question is relevant thing, I think, to section 63, where unregistered person cannot pass the incidence because he is not registered under GST. He is not registered under GST. So he cannot pass the ITC portion to the buyer. As section 16 is not permitting that. So I think this is the answer. Next question, please, if available. And
Thank you, sir. Next question is uh, if the time of appeal and revision has expired, is there any opportunity available to assessment to assessee for assessment? This question is by Himanshu Chanani.
then if the time limit to filing appeal and revision has been expired, then only one way is there, that to filing the petition with the High Court. He has to go from the go with the High Court. Only that remedy is available with the taxpayer. There is nothing else.
So, V. Saramoni Iyer, sir, is asking about section 62.
Yeah.
Uh, he has just written section 62.
Yeah. Nothing else.
He has asked one more question. Can a non-filer write a petition before High Court for denying opportunity of being here on patent mistake of assessing officer in his order directing to file return?
Can a non-filer file a writ petition before High Court for denying the opportunity of being heard on patent mistake of assessing officer in his order directing the file? Yes, absolutely. But why you can go with the writ petition? You have an option to file the rectification of order. You have an option that the mistake apparent from the records can be rectified by the higher authorities or even he himself. So and OBH is not given is not the is not well, High Court for opposition have been if order is not correctly made, then you may go for the rectification. And if OBH is not given, then you may complain to the higher authority that in particular case OBH is not provided. And after that, you may go with the High Court or the higher authorities. But once you have to place a question with the officers, higher authority subordinate who has not complied with its principle. So it is a practical situation we have to we have to do with. Is there any question, ma'am? Any other?
Sir, one Samir Bhatnagar is asking that suppose somebody is not registered, though he was required to be,
Mhm.
what would be the penalty?
तो पेनल्टी से पहले तो ये प्रोसीजर्स फॉलो होंगी जो 63 में किया हुआ है, बट ही इज कवर्ड अंडर 122 आई थिंक पेनल्टी. सो if he is required to register, the penalty is not there. Penalty provision will be imposed after all the hearings and compliance has been complied with, as mentioned in the section 63. So first of all, he has to comply with the section 63 notice and follow the steps and follow the procedures, and then it is on the part of the proper officer that whether he is liable to penalty or not. But generally, if assessing officer is rigid, and in that case, they will impose the penalty. Otherwise, you may request to waive the penalty. There is a one section 126
So,
is also there, where you can claim the remedy that there is some procedural lapse or like that wording has been used under section 126(1), that you may for minor breaches they cannot impose penalty. He has to follow that 126 procedure. Proper officer has to be. Whether it is impact is very huge or not. Whether this मतलब जो भी है 126 का जो भी उसको प्रोसीजर है वो फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. आप उसको ऑफिसर को कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हो, सर 126 में मेरे को रिलीफ मिलना चाहिए, तो वो 126 का रिलीफ डाल के आपका वो पेनल्टी वेव कर सकता है. बिकॉज इफ यू आर अ जेन्युइन पर्सन देन ही मे रिमूव दैट पेनल्टी. मैम एनीथिंग एल्स क्वेश्चन इज रिमेनिंग?
okay, sir, because we have one more session ahead of us. So, due to time crunch, thank you, sirs, for your detailed response.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
Thank you all the attendees for attending this webinar. Uh, and I'm thankful for the committee for organizing this webinar and discuss this kind of and make this healthy discussion and questionnaires by the attendees very interesting. And I enjoyed the session. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you, sir. I am delighted to tell you that I'm delighted to announce that we are 940 number of participants registered from across the country with us. Now, moving on to our next session, opportunities in a dynamic professional environment, a new era of practice by CA Sachin Jain. CA Sachin Jain is a practicing CA and a partner at prominent company. He is dynamic and innovative chartered accountant with extensive experience in the field of indirect taxation. Also, he holds the role of an advocate and company secretary. He has trained over 20,000 professionals across India and has notable portfolio of articles covering topics like GST, concurrent audits, MCA compliances, and more. He is also author of the books Decisive GST Cases, 250 Landmark Judgment, The Definitive Guide to GST, The GST Question Compendium, and Simply GST, The Memory Chart Guide. I invite CA Sachin Jain to share his valuable insights with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dhaval ma'am, for the opportunity, and thank you, CP committee, for this opportunity to me. So today we are going to discuss on a very important, very specific subject, very specific topic. So first of all, today we will not discuss any provision of law, any sections or anything else. Okay. So just we'll discuss that how we can boost our practices, what are the new area which is there, and we can focus on that particular area. That will be the complete discussion which will be there in this particular webinar. Okay. So I request everyone, if you have any question, any query in between the session, you can put in the chat box so that I will get it and I will definitely respond the same. And this session is completely based on practical approach. No need of any pen and paper. Just feel free and relax ke saath. We are going to start our discussion on this specific topic. So first of all, I'm just going to share with you. I'm just going to share with you that we'll first discuss certain things about our traditional practices, okay, and then after we move to certain new areas in which we can initiate our practices, or we can explore certain new areas, because jaruri nahi hai ki I need to focus on that particular area or I need to initiate my practice in that particular area, but there is requirement that I should know these type of areas are also there. Okay, so let's start our discussion from certain traditional areas of practice. Sir, whenever there will be a name called chartered accountant, the first thing which will be there in my mind is auditing. Chartered accountant is equal to auditing. But now, scenario has completely changed. There are ample of opportunities available in the market. We just need to focus on that so that we can get something. And through this particular webinar, I am just going to share with you a way that these are the fields which is available, and these are the important things about that particular field or about that particular area. Now that will be completely your decision. Okay, so traditional area of practice, if I am talking from the perspective of traditional area, then the first name is direct taxation. So in case of direct taxation, I may go for the auditing, I may go for the return filing, I may go for the handling of assessment, scrutiny, and multiple litigations at all. Okay, gst gst return filing, compliances, and litigation handling. Sir, there is one concept in our mind that whenever there will be a name come GST, then first thing, GST return filing, GST compliances, and GST litigations. If we are merely handling the compliances or the return filing, then as a chartered accountant, we are just doing a clerical work. Our focus is to go for the implementation of GST, go for the analytics of the GST, go for the consultancy, that is how in a particular industry GST can be implemented. In case of litigation, how we are going to analyze the provisions, that will be the way we should focus, not merely the return filing or compliances handling. Third, custom act, those who are dealing in the import and export in such a scenario, this is also area of traditional practice. Okay, first I am going to share with you in next 5 to 10 minutes the traditional areas. Okay, then we'll directly move to new areas which is there in the market. MCA compliances, ROC related work, maybe multiple annual filings are there, multiple forms are there in case of MCA, and this is also a traditional practice, but this is also a very good area for a practice. Funding work. Sir, we all know that the base of each and every business, each and every industry is fund. Without fund, nothing is possible. And multiple of our friends are doing the practice in this particular field as well. They are providing the consultancy related to fund. They are providing the consultancy related to arrangement of the fund. Okay, the next, internal audit. This is also a very specific area for the chartered accountant, and this is also a part of traditional practice. Internal audit of a particular industry, maybe expenditure and income audit, maybe audit for the financial statement internally on the basis of quarterly, half yearly, maybe internal audit for multiple government organization, government entities. Bank statutory audit, sir, 70-60% whatever will be the, जैसे ही मार्च आता है, one thing which will be there in our mind, that is bank statutory audit. And हमेशा हम लोग बोलते हैं कि सर बैंक ऑडिट हाथ से जा रहा है, but we just need to focus on that as well, because this is also a traditional area for our practice. Bank concurrent audit, a very risky job, I can say, in the current environment for doing the concurrent audit. Bank forensic audit, a very good area for practice, and recent time this is really a very revenue generated area as well. But the point is that for mid level firm, for lower level firm, it is quite difficult to get the forensic audits. Okay, because there are a lot of requirement which we need to fulfill to get that particular type of audit. So I can say this is also area of practice, but we need to make multiple efforts for getting this particular type of forensic audit as well. Sir, these all areas are traditional only. Direct tax you can get, GST you can get, custom you can do, MCA compliances, funding, internal, bank statutory audit, concurrent, forensic. But in this webinar, we'll discuss something new area which is completely unique. Before moving ahead, certain further traditional practices are also there. Labor laws related practices, ESI and PF. This is also a very good area because a very less number of chartered accountants or professionals are doing this particular type of practice, because we are merely focusing on the GST, on the direct taxation, on the companies. This is also a very good area for the practice. Drafting related work. Sir, whenever the word come drafting, the first thing which will become in my mind, that first we need to learn how to read the notices, and then after we should focus on the drafting related matters. Okay, this is a traditional as well as the present as well as the future of practice, you can say. ये वो area है जो कभी पुराना नहीं होगा. You can initiate your practice in this particular field anytime, but the point is that you should have the mastery of the provision of law for doing this particular type of practice. I will give 10 to 15 minutes to this specific topic in this particular session. Okay, government tenders. Multiple tenders are available. Our ICAI is also making multiple efforts. We have one specific website PDC on which we can view the various tenders which is available for us. Okay, but the point is that again we need to qualify the conditions terms of that particular tender, then we can participate in that particular tendering process as well. Due diligence related work. If you are empaneled with the bank, this is also a traditional area. Okay, if you are empaneled with a particular bank, in that case bank is providing the due diligence work as well. So what do you mean by this due diligence? When the bank is going to approve a particular loan application or sanction a particular loan application, in that case bank is going to do or provide the work related to the analysis of the financial statement, financial condition of that particular borrower from a chartered accountant, and bank is going to appoint or empaneled that particular type of chartered accountants. Multiple banks time to time appointing these type of chartered accountants or other professionals for this due diligence work as well. A very specific area for practice, chartered accountant plus lawyer. In that case I may go for the insolvency professional. This is a new area of practice, we can say a very good area of practice. If you are a chartered accountant and if you have the skills related to the litigation and you have completed your advocacy, that is LLB, in that case you may go for this also. With chartered accountancy we can also go with this particular type of insolvency professional. 10 years of practice is required, but multiple banks are going to appoint that insolvency professionals, or multiple companies are also appointing, because this is the need of current scenario. So this is also a very good area of practice. Mergers and acquisitions in case of MNCs, these type of things happening in day to day. So this is also a very good area of practice. And the subsidy related work in case of any plant and machinery establishment under the schemes of government, in that case subsidy option is also there. इनमें से कुछ I will discuss certain schemes in a very detailed way. Okay, so basically these are the traditional areas of practice in which या तो हम लोग practice कर रहे हैं, we may initiate the practice. Okay, but now the name of this particular subject is new opportunities in the current environment. So now I'm just going to share with you certain new area of practice and which is completely exciting for all of us. These areas are very much unique, very much antique, and the most important thing, respect is also there and the revenue is also there. Both are there in this particular new area of practice. So are you ready to discuss these particular type of things? Okay, so let's start our discussion. Foreign accounting and bookkeeping. Sir, the point is that if you will analyze the current scenario or current market, in that case, you will found that 30 to 40% professionals in each and every meeting, they are talking about this specific term. Yeah, I want to start this practice in foreign accounting. I want to go for the bookkeeping of the foreign clients and multiple things. But sir, how we can initiate the practice in this particular field? What the exactly meaning of this particular field? How? What are the things which is required for initiating the practice in this particular field? Or the first thing, what do you mean by this foreign accounting and bookkeeping? We'll discuss in a very detailed way. So this is a new area of practice. Foreign tax return preparation. You can say UK, US, tax return preparation. This is also a very specific area, and the various types of audit for the foreign clients. Sir, just one example I want to share with you for this specific work or this specific term. If you will check, multiple US, UK companies are going for the internal audit. Okay, at that particular place, there will be multiple type of contracts and agreements for the work. After completion of that particular or agreement, or before completion of that particular agreement, they are supposed to conduct the internal audit of each and every assignment or each and every tender, and they are hiring for that particular internal audit purposes the chartered accountants from India. They are assigning this particular work to the chartered accountants of the India for the internal audit of various foreign clients. So this is also a very, very specific area. We'll discuss in detail on this particular area as well. Data analysis for medium and small enterprises. Very specific. Sir, as we all know that as a mid-level CA firm, if I am going to ask any MNC, in that case, it will be quite difficult to get the work from that MNC. But if I will do something unique or innovative for my small and medium enterprises, in that case, through that particular population or through that particular promotion, I can get the work from MNCs as well. Now, what do you mean by the analysis of the data? So, each and every small and multiple enterprises have a very limited resources. You can say from accounting perspective, from compliances perspective, from documentation handling perspective. If you will come up with certain type of analytics for that particular industry, for that small and medium enterprises, and through that analysis, you can provide the help to enhance the manufacturing process, to enhance the quality of the product, to enhance the profit margin, to cut the cost. In that case, it will be a great help, and it will also be a consultancy. Sir, chartered accountant is equal to chartered advisor. Our focus is not merely on the auditing. Our focus should be on the advisory consultancy as well, because the specific role of the chartered accountant is to provide the consultancy, is to provide the advisory. जब भी गवर्नमेंट एक नोटिफिकेशन लेके आता है, वी आर गोइंग टू रिड्यूस द टैक्स ऑडिट लिमिट और वी आर गोइंग टू एनहांस द टैक्स ऑडिट लिमिट, इन दैट केस फर्स्ट थिंग हम सोचते हैं हमारा काम जा रहा है. The point is that, sir, as a chartered accountant, my responsibility is to provide the advice to my client. My responsibility is to analyze the financial statement of my client and provide the consultancy that these are the issue. My work is not limited to the attestation services. Okay, that will be the quality of a chartered accountant. Next, cost cutting consultancy. Sir, these are the certain things which is very new, but these are the very specific thing. If you are merely providing the auditing services, in that case, if you will charge an audit fees of 25,000 or 50,000 rupees, your client will say that, sir, Mr. X chartered account is going to do this particular audit for this particular fees. But the point is that if you will provide any specific service to your client will always be with you. Because in the current scenario, current environment, the most difficult task is to get the client or to retain the client. Client aa bhi jayega, but retention of the client is quite difficult. So we need to provide certain additional services to our client, and we also need to improve our presentation skills. Because for a chartered accountant, हमको सब कुछ सिखाया जाता है हमारे करिकुलम में, but the problem is that we have no presentation skills. This is the biggest issue for us. Okay, so we just need to keep this important fact with us while providing the auditing services, while providing the GST related services or MC related services. These are certain additional areas we can provide cost cutting consultancy. Sir, what do you mean by this cost cutting consultancy? Possibility your client is involved in any type of manufacturing services, any type of trading related activities. Okay, in that case, there may be involvement of multiple types of cost. The first thing which we need to do for this cost consultancy, for this profit orientation consultancy, for future oriented consultancy, we just need to go for one simple meeting with our client. And first we need to know from our client about the nature of business, about the activities of the business, about the pattern of sales, about the pattern of purchase, about the pattern of manufacturing process and machinery involved, so that we can analyze that these are the areas where there may be unnecessary involvement of the costing, and we can suggest the same to our client. We may charge additional fees for that, or if we are not charging the additional fees, in that case it will be a great services from our side to our client. So this will be an add-on, because I will be sustain in the market if I will sustain in the market, if I will provide multiple additional or something unique or innovative services to my client. Okay, next, profit oriented consultancy. Sir, the basic thing is that Profit is the main motive of our client. Actual profit is the main motive of our client. So the point is that through analysis of the financial statement, through analysis of the segment of industry, we can provide the consultancy how our client can maximize the profit. So chartered accountant will be the participate or will be the partner in the wealth creation of our client. So we will be the partner of the wealth creation of our nation. That is what is the motive of our next future oriented consultancy. Sir, suppose my client is dealing in one specific product, as I am the consultant for that particular client. In such a scenario, I need to provide the details that, sir, how you can add certain new products in your business, what will be the additional cost, what will be the funding requirement, what will be the further adjustment and arrangement. But the point is that as a chartered accountant, we are merely providing our services. Uske baad, we are merely sending the invoice to our client. Okay. We are not asking, sir, what you are doing, what is the nature of your business, how your business is going on, what you can do next. That is what is the important thing. Startup consultancy, make in India. Sir, multiple schemes are there in the market. If you are handling the work of your client related to GST, and if there is certain benefits which is there in startup, and if you will not provide that details to your client and someone else is going to provide the same, in that case it will be a danger situation for you. So from that perspective, we should get the idea from the litigation, from the startup consultancy, because multiple benefits, multiple funding arrangements, multiple software, multiple promotion schemes are there in this startup. So we need to familiar with that. Litigation handling, one of the key area I can say, because I will also discuss very specifically on this specific term, because in current scenario this is the very specific scope oriented area you can say. But a disclaimer is there: for providing the litigation services, we should have the complete conceptual, technical, analytical knowledge of the law and IT tool development. As we all know that this time is completely related to the IT. Our WOFA is also organizing from 31st January to 2nd of Feb, and that is also with AI, okay, innovations. So we also need to learn something from that, and we just need to take the help of IT tools in our practice. Because if we'll merely provide the audit report to our client, it will reduce our efficiency. But with audit report, if we'll provide a tool so that our client can easily evaluate the performance, the financial performance, the business performance, in that case it will be an additional tool from our side. So this will be a great opportunity for us. I will also discuss with you certain IT tools, okay, for your reference. So these are the certain new areas in the current scenario related to we can initiate our practices, we can boost our practices. I know हर काम हम नहीं कर सकते हैं. One person cannot perform all these type of activities, but we can make a team of professionals so that we can with force we can initiate or boost our practices, because in the current scenario this is the most important thing for us to sustain ourselves, to grow, or to boost the practices. Okay, so the biggest question is that if you will search on Google as well, if you will check the YouTube platform as well, you will find multiple questions or multiple videos how to initiate your foreign accounting work, how to set up your business related to foreign accounting and bookkeeping, how to provide the consultancy to the foreign accounting, or one of the most famous question, how to get the first client for the foreign accounting. क्योंकि अगर एक मिल गया तो आई एम अ चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट, मैं उसको 10 20 50 100 आराम से कर लूंगा, कोई इश्यू नहीं है. But the point is that how to get the foreign accounting work. I just want to share with you insights of this particular thing, okay, on this foreign accounting or consultancy. Although I am not involved in any type of foreign accounting, okay, I have my partner, that person is handling all these type of things, but I am providing the consultancy or guidance to the professionals who wants to initiate the practice in this particular field, in this particular stream, because very popular, very famous area. Okay, हमको लगता है profit ही profit है. So let's start our discussion on this specific subject, how to get the work from foreign client. Okay, this topic, this subject is something important, okay, something new, I think so. And I suppose you all are enjoying this particular session. learning something new. Okay. So now, how to get the foreign client or foreign work? The first thing, without learning, no earning. Sir, if you will check the YouTube or if you will check the Google, in that case, you will found that if you have knowledge of the software, that is Zero, the QuickBooks, okay, in that case, you can easily get the clients. Merely accounting will only provide you the clerical related work or clerical nature oriented work. For providing the professional services, for providing the consultancy, for providing or for handling the work with professionalism, in that case, requirement of certain provision of law as well, we can say. From this foreign accounting perspective, you should have the idea of the Indies. Okay, you have the idea of IFRS, US GAAP, these type of things you should have, so that you can easily provide the consultancy. Because whenever there will be a client who wants to incorporate the accounts or familiar with the foreign accounts, if there will be a head office in India and the subsidiary company is in outside India, in that case also there is requirement of certain merger, and for that purpose we should have the idea about IFRS and Indies. So first you need to go for the learning of the IFRS and Indies with US GAAP provisions. That is what is the most important thing, because sir, we all are professionals. So to learn the software, whatever will be the accounting software, it's quite easy. Or your team, your staff can easily handle that particular work. But for provide the services in a professional way, requirement to learn the law. Okay, multiple courses are also available on certain platforms. Okay, related to the US GAAP, related to the IFRS Index. Our ICAI is also conducting multiple courses on that as well. So you can also go for that. Network is the net worth. To get the foreign client, there is no any shortcut is available. Okay, you can get your first client. Your network will give you the client. There are multiple exhibitions are there, multiple organizations are there. You should participate in that particular organization, in that particular event, so that you can connect with multiple number of peoples. कौन सा बंदा आपको क्या काम दे करके चला जाए, that will be the most important thing. Okay, so your network will be the network. Develop a good team for initiating the practice in this particular field, or if you are planning to initiate the same in near future, in that case you need to start your planning from today, right now. This is the right time. So develop a team of 3 to 4 peoples, so that one can handle the accounting. That means one can gain the idea about the accounting, one can get the idea about the provision of law, that is India's IFRS. And while learning the accounting, we just need to learn the accounting with the provisions, with the India's and IFRS and US GAAP provisions, that how we can maintain the accounting in coordination with the US principles. Okay, so we just need to do this particular type of thing. We need to develop a good team. Design your social media accordingly. As we all know, this is the time of social media. So you just need to start your social media designing from day one, from now, so that there should be multiple posts are required, that you should post on that particular handle. Multiple things you just need to share with the other professionals or on this particular social media, so that people can get the idea that these type of things are also there in the market. Start your marketing. So when I'm saying the word marketing, at that time my means that you should develop one website. Okay, so that foreign client can also get, because if you will get the work from the foreign client, or if you will get one client, in that case that person will directly ask you, you have a particular website, how many years you are working on that particular platform. So we should have something to present someone. Okay, start with small enterprises, don't go for the big enterprises, because in the initial phase of your practice there may be chances that you have no such type of machinery, no such type of expertise. Time ke sath aayega. So we just need to start with the multiple small enterprises. और मुझे कोई पूछता है ना कि I want to start or initiate the practices in this foreign accounting, I will suggest Dubai, because you will found multiple peoples are there in Dubai, and they are just maintaining their records in the Excel sheet or in the Word file. If you will just prepare the proper accounting in your software, very small enterprises. Okay, and if you will provide the financial statement to that particular person, that this is your complete financial statement for this particular month, for this quarter, half year or year, that client will be multiply your clients. 1 से 10, 10 से 100. So initiate the practice from this particular way. And you may search certain freelancer websites are also available. So you can share your profile on that particular platform, because multiple people are getting the work from that platform as well. But as per my suggestion, start social media marketing. Your website should be developed. You should connect with the small enterprises in Dubai. Just try to create certain content on that, share in the market, so that people can get idea that this person is also involved in this particular type of practice. So first we need to go for the foreign accounting and bookkeeping, then only you should think for the internal audit and audit related assignments. Okay, because internal audit related works are completely related or linked to your accounting proposals. So first we need to get one opportunity, then after we'll get the other opportunities as well. Next, sir, foreign accounting. I suppose I have covered this particular type of content related to foreign accounting for your reference as well. Now, cost cutting measures. Every industry wants that my cost should be reduced, my cost should be reduced. But we are merely providing the auditing services, we are analyzing the financial statement, and we are suggest our client this is as per law, this is not as per law. We should focus that how our client can grow with cost cutting with the provision of law. Okay, so for that purpose we need to follow certain steps. Okay, that is what is the requirement, and these steps are completely technical steps. Okay, first is industry analysis. For providing any type of consultancy, as per my opinion, as per my suggestion, if you are merely providing the GST, direct taxation related consultancy or MCA compliances, then also you need to focus on the industry analysis. Because multiple times, just for an example from GST perspective, because our first session was related to GST, and Rinkesh sir has given a very extreme knowledge related to section 62 and 63. So I am just going to link with that. Sir, if you have no idea about the nature of industry, client aya, we have filed the return or we are filing the return continuously, but there is requirement that we should show the perfect HSN code on the GST and common portal. As I have not checked the perfect nature of industry of my client, so मैंने उसको update नहीं किया. In case of litigation, audit, assessment, departmental authority will raise the demand and impose the general penalty under section 125. In that case, your client will directly come to you and say that, Mr. Sachin, you are filing my return and you have checked my complete GST portal. Why this penalty is there? You have not checked the HSN code. भैया मुझे उसका नेचर ही पता नहीं है बिजनेस का, how I can check? So from that perspective also we need to get. But now for cost cutting, we just need to focus on that. First, we need to get the idea about the nature of industry. Then after, in a particular industry, there may be chances of multiple segments: packing segment, dispatch segment, sales segment, okay, manufacturing segment. So we just need to prepare a chart related to the segment. Sir, through this particular webinar, I am just going to give you a way that these are the fields available. Okay, segment analysis. Then after we need to just, this is a deep analysis. Okay, we need to go for the product and services analysis, that what type of product in which our client is dealing. Then we need to analyze the manufacturing process. Then we need to compare it with the market manufacturing process of the relevant or similar products. Okay, what are the things, what are the machinery which is there, or for that particular purpose there may be requirement that you need to take certain help of other professionals. Okay, cost management accountant ki, there may be chances you need to take the help. There may be requirement you need to take the help of a production engineer, production manager, so that you will get the maximum idea from that. If there will be any machinery which is ideal, so it will create an additional cost. Through manufacturing process, we need to check what shifts are there in this particular industry. If there will be any cut or if there will be an enhancement, in that case, what will be the impact on the production, on the final output, on the quality of the product? If we'll create this number of quantity, in that case, what will be the cost per unit? If we'll enhance the quality of if we'll enhance the quantity of, if we'll reduce the quantity, in that case, what will be the impact on the costing of this particular product? This type of consultancy is also required. So this is the additional services to retain your client, or this is also a complete new area of practice. Okay, compliance analysis. Multiple time, if you will check, in case of litigation, in case of business audit, departmental audit, in case of scrutiny, multiple, a very huge demand will be there. TDS, a huge demand will be there. Companies के case में multiple demands are there by the MCA portal and by the company's portal. The point is that if we'll check the compliance analysis on regular basis, you may charge additional fees, but the point is that if we'll provide or if we'll do this particular type of thing, in that case also we may reduce the cost of for our client. Okay. Analysis of probable litigations. Due to compliance, there may be chances in case of any failure on account of the compliances, multiple notices will be there. So this is also a very specific area for us. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis is also a very specific thing for this cost cutting measurements. I suppose you all are getting the points. First new area is our foreign accounting, bookkeeping, foreign return, and the foreign auditing. Second, cost cutting consultancy or cost cutting measures. Third, profit oriented consultancy, how we can provide the consultancy related to the maximization of the profit with provision of law. Okay. And how we can participate in the building of our client or in the growth of our client, because ये केवल हमारा एक प्रोफेशन है, वी ओनली वी, जो किसी दूसरे की ग्रोथ में अपनी ग्रोथ को ढूंढते हैं. अगर मेरा क्लाइंट का टर्नओवर, इफ द टर्नओवर ऑफ माय क्लाइंट इज 500 करोड़, आई वांट दैट द टर्नओवर ऑफ माय क्लाइंट शुड बी 1000 करोड़. Only we chartered accountants are doing this particular type of things. Okay, so profit oriented consultancy, for that purpose, yes, first we need to go for the industry analysis, then we need to go for the manufacturing process. When we'll go for that particular manufacturing process, we'll found that yes, there is a particular byproduct is generated through this particular manufacturing process. अभी इस byproduct को industry में इस rate पे sale किया जा रहा है. If we'll do something else, or if we'll use that particular byproduct to create a new particular product, in that case we can use this particular byproduct for our in-house manufacturing process. It will give extra profit to the company. So this is just a suggestion from our side to our client. Client को लगेगा yes, Mr. Sachin is providing certain specific suggestions to us, our business is in right hand. Okay, marketing techniques, what type of marketing techniques they are following, because in the current environment this task or this thing is very important and vital role for the growth of business. What type of marketing techniques they are following, what is the cost involved in that marketing techniques, or what is the return from that particular marketing expenditure that we should go for. Analysis of financial statement, we just need to focus the gross profit, net profit, the inventory, the purchase, the sales, not merely from the perspective of adjustment, from the perspective of original profit for our client. Suppose when you will analyze the financial statement, our client has raised the fund from a CC from a particular bank. If there is any scheme is available in the market and our client can get the fund at a very lower rate, in that case we should suggest. Or there is certain subsidy oriented scheme is there, we also need to focus on the human resource which is there in the industry, and through that particular analysis of human resource, how we can cut the cost, that is what is the very important thing. And IPO, one of the very specific thing in current scenario, everyone is coming for the IPO. So we also need to focus how we can suggest our client that based on your capital, based on your turnover, you can also go for the IPO. For that purpose, you need to take the consultancy of that specific person who is dealing regularly. So this is also a very good area for our practice. Future orientation consultancy. Now the turnover of my client is 500 crore, but we just need to provide the consultancy that the turnover of my client should be 700 crore, 900 crore, 1000 crore, by addition of certain activities, by deletion of certain activities, by entering into a new segment, by exploring the new areas which is there in the market, by providing certain consultancy related to the future options. That is also a very great area. Past trend analysis for future orientation. First we need to check the past, what was the trends of the past, how the sales is moving around. Okay, that is what is we need to do. Analysis of market demand of that particular product, and from that particular product, if we are able to add certain new products with the same machinery, in that case we may provide that particular type of consultancy. आप लोग बोलेंगे सर chartered accountant is doing the work related to the financial statement accountancy. Sir, chartered accountant is for the analysis and growth of the business. So study of various surveys. There are various surveys are there in the market, and they are providing the details related to new areas. So this is also one probable source for us. Analysis of various identical products which we may add. Analysis of various laws. Suppose government is coming with a new law in very future, near future, and through that particular law there is a scheme available for the funding requirements, and from that funding we can initiate a manufacturing process. This is the future. We can go for that. We can suggest this particular thing to our client. Analysis about the international market. Suppose our client is currently dealing in the domestic market, and if based on the demand, based on the nature, if our client can sell the same in the international market, in that case this is also a good option. We may incorporate the company outside India and sell the products. Okay. Analysis of funding requirements. In future, what will be the requirement of fund, how we can arrange from the best possible way. हो सकता है direct selling agent कोई और है. We are just going to guide that these things you just need to follow. So our client will think, yes, our chartered accountant is making the efforts. Also, our chartered accountant is very intelligent, so providing these particular type of services as well. Future orientation consultancy, startup consultancy, a very, you can say, good area for practice and for an additional service from our side to our client, and a new area of opportunity. Because if there is certain innovative things, in that case we may go for the registration as a startup, and after registering as a startup there may be chances of multiple benefits which is available in the market we can avail. You can say funding requirement. There are multiple subsidies are also available in case of purchase of plant and machinery, up to 25%, 30% plant subsidy is also available. Okay. Or there may be multiple websites are there on which government is going to promote your products. Okay. In multiple exhibitions you can get the stall at a very discounted price. So these are the benefits which is available. You can get the funding requirement at a very lower rate of interest with subsidy. So these are the options which is also available. But first we should have the idea that in which scenario this specific startup guideline will be applicable on us, on our client, or DPIIT recognition when our client can go for that. That is what is the important thing which we need to focus. Okay. So from startup we just need to first provide our client related to the setup. Because whenever we are going for the application of startup registration as a startup, we just need to provide one note related to the innovation, that in this particular product innovation is there. So through the analysis of nature of our client's industry, we just need to get the idea that what is the innovation in that, or we can take the write-up from our client, and the same should be submitted over there. After complete scrutiny analysis, they will announce that you are eligible for the benefits or not. Subsidy is also there, business growth, so various promotional scheme, various marketing tools provided by the government. Mudra loan is also there. You can participate in the Make in India. So whenever a particular new client is coming, as we all know, the young generation is involved in the business. और जब young कोई idea लेकर के आता है, that will be completely innovative and unique. Okay, so we may go for the startup and we can avail the benefits of this startup, and this is also a very good area. और अगर कोई client अपना setup नया कर रहा है, उस time if you will help that particular client in such a way, lifetime that client will be yours. Patent हो गया, copyright हो गया है. Okay. Next, litigation handling, one of the very specific area for the particular litigation handling. If you will check, then every GST professional or direct taxation professional is saying, yes, we are handling the litigations, or we want to initiate the practices in this particular field. So my suggestion is that whenever you want to initiate the practice in this litigation field, you just need to focus, sir, how to read the notices issued by the departmental authority, whether the notice is a valid notice or not, the authority who has issued the notice is a appropriate authority or not. Then after, we should have the complete idea of law. और law को पढ़ने के तीन तरीके हैं. I should have the conceptual aspect, that is provision of law, technical aspect, that is analysis, and analytical aspect of that particular law. If there will be any practical scenario, how I can handle, that will be completely based on my analytical approach. In case of scrutiny, assessment, auditing, if we are handling at each phase of that particular thing, there is requirement of submission of reply. and our reply should be completely based on the provision of law on the specific aspects. Now, the most important thing, sir, मैंने drafting सीख लिया. I know how to read the notices, how to prepare the reply, how to draft the reply, how to respond in front of the departmental authority. But the point is that whenever there will be a personal hearing and I am presenting in front of a departmental authority, there is certain issues. और हमको पता है, in case of appellant authority, appellant tribunal, honorable high court, supreme court, in case of the decision, the 60% decision will be based on the presentation by the legal heir or by the authorized representative. So we just need to focus on that presentation skills, that how we can present the fact in a concise way with all the necessary facts in front of the departmental authority. That will be the base of that particular judgment. So this technique, I think we should focus on. Okay, with notice reading, with drafting, with this particular presentation skill, we should focus on. And also for build a career in this particular litigation segment, we should have the complete idea of various judgments which is there. एक single judgment 40 to 50 pages का होता है. As per my suggestion, you can do one thing. Just download 15 to 20 judgments from the website. Okay. And if you will download and if you will check that 30 to 40%, 40 pages judgment, in that case, your analytical skills will automatically enhance, because multiple terms will be there in that particular order passed by the honorable authority. If you will check, I suggest that in case of GST, who are dealing in the field of GST, in that case, AAR, AAR authorities decisions are available, the rulings are available on the website. If you will check AAR authority rulings, in that case, you will find the website and you can download multiple rulings on that particular website. They are uploading the rulings on daily basis on multiple topics, multiple subjects of GST. And if you will go through with that particular ruling, in that case, you will find a specific knowledge of the analysis of the provision of law, analysis of the single section, analysis of the multiple things related to the provision of law. So this is also a very good area in which one can initiate the practices, that is litigation handling. Next, development of certain IT tools. Sir, if you want to enhance your practices, if you want to boost your practices, or if you want to retain your clients, or in the current environment, if you want to establish your practices in a very specific way, in that case, this is also a specific segment in which professionals should focus. Okay, and for that purpose, we may take the help of other professionals, other IT persons, because as a chartered accountant, we are not able to develop a particular tool. For that purpose, we need to take the help of certain IT people, because industry may, if you will do something unique, innovative, in that case, you will be there. Okay, otherwise someone else is going to replace you, and you will also be there only for the auditing, only for the providing the preparation of the financial statement, only for the compliances. But if you will do something, in that case, other areas are there for you. So if you will check online, in that case, multiple professionals has developed a certain GPTs as well. Okay, if you want to draft a particular reply, in that case, you just need to write that particular subject and reply will automatically be prepared. This is also a tool which is there. In GST, for an example, a biggest issue is that how to reconcile the GSTR 2B and books of accounts input tax credit if the quantum is very huge. In that case, just for an example, there is one app is available, or one model is available, you can say Power BI model. This is a tool of Microsoft. Okay, so if you will use that particular Power BI model, in that particular model, you may create multiple softwares itself. You can create multiple Excel tools. Suppose for the reconciliation perspective, if you have designed one specific element on that particular dashboard with the help of technical person, in that case, your GSTR 2B and books data will be automatically reconciled, and the complete chart wise presentation will be there, that in this particular month, this is the chart for the reconciliation, these are the entity which is not there, invoice wise, party wise, multiple things is there in chart form as well. And this is very, you can say, eco-friendly, cost-friendly. You can suggest your client to go for that particular type of IT tool. so that on monthly basis they can easily reconcile the input at their office and they can send the data that sir yes this is okay. Otherwise वो जो भी accounting software whether it is Tally or other accounting software or SAP, they are getting the data in the software, then after they are preparing one Excel tool, then after we need to put the filters and the reconciliation will be there. This is also a way. But if there is an offline Excel tool is there and our client can easily do that particular thing and the same can be approached by the professional as well, then this will be a very helpful thing. This is just an example of IT tool. When we are submitting or when we are providing the audit report, income tax audit report, with the audit report, if we'll provide the complete analytics as well of the business for the financial year, our client will happy. If we'll provide any quarterly updated report or half yearly updated report on that particular income tax perspective, our client will happy. Okay, how to reduce the litigations in GST? As we all know, multiple issues are there, and in case of income tax also multiple issues are there. In case of MCA, penalties are very huge. If you will go for internal health checkup, you can say industry health checkup, internal health checkup, and on half yearly basis with the help of certain IT tools, if you will prepare a particular report that these are the things which we should avoid, these are the things which is there, which is red highlight, this is yellow, this is green, based on the risk measurement of the penalties of the future litigations, then this is also a very good area, and this will be additional service from our side. Accounting related tools, bank statement डालो, complete accounting will be there. Certain professionals has developed their accounting, customized accounting tool as per the based on demand of the particular nature of the business. So this is also a very good area, we can say. Audit finding and finalization related tools. Sir, our client is sending the ledgers to us in PDF. We are scrutinize the ledger, then after we are preparing the financial statement. Just for example, if we'll develop a specific tool through that particular PDF reader AI, with the help of AI, in that case that tool can easily summarize the complete ledger, the complete issues as well. Although I have no idea about this, but I also have the technical team, they are going to suggest me that sir these are the things available with us. So we should also focus on these type of things. Yes, we need to handle our traditional practices, yes we need to handle our work, but with that, if we'll go for certain new things, if we'll explore certain new things, in that case definitely will grow in this particular dynamic environment. So in this particular session we have covered certain new areas, you can say foreign accounting, bookkeeping, the certain consultancies, post cutting के लिए, startup के लिए, future orientation के लिए, certain IT tools, certain new area with related to the litigations. These are the probable areas in which we can initiate the practice, we can boost our practice, we can boost our knowledge, or we can grow our network is equal to net worth. Thank you. If any query in that case, I request Dhaval ma'am for the queries.
Hello, sir. There are no such questions so far.
Okay.
Just people requesting for the PPTs and everything. And
Yes, people may comment their feedbacks for this session as well. If they want, then they may comment.
um, Khalid from Mumbai is asking that what is your view about current scenario of AI, like Chat GPT?
Yes, this is very helpful tool, we can take help of this particular tool, but we should not completely dependent on that particular tool. Okay, we can take the help of that tool, this is okay.
I request all the participants, if you have any questions, you may put it in the chat box. Okay, sir. No questions so far. Everybody is complimenting you. They had a good time. So I would like to thank C.S. Sachin Jain for such a wonderful session. It will surely inspire many of us to adapt and innovate.
Thank you.
And with this, we come to the end of today's webinar. I would like to thank both of our speakers, CA Rinkesh Mamrawala and CA Sachin Jain, for their enlightening presentations and for sharing their expertise with us today. Also, a heartfelt thanks to our esteemed Chairman and Vice Chairman of CP Committee, CA Purushottam Khandelwal and CA Gyan Chandra Mishra ji, for their guidance and support in organizing this session. I also extend my gratitude to the coordinator and the entire team of the Continuing Professional Education Committee of ICI for their meticulously planning and tech support team for ensuring a smooth execution of webinar. And a very, very special thanks to all our participants for actively engaging in this session. Your enthusiasm and interest make this event truly meaningful. I wish you all a great evening ahead.
Thank you.
Ji, you can end the session. Thank you so much, sir.